Hi, my name is Jeff Belts, and I'm going to be discussing how a traffic ticket attorney can help you with your everyday normal traffic ticket occurrence. A lot of people don't realize the benefit of hiring a lawyer for traffic tickets, but in today's world, it's really important to not only understand how a traffic ticket attorney can help you, but why they are so important in today's legal field, especially considering your driving record, your insurance rates, and things that are important to us like that. And so this is briefly going to describe why most people hire our office for traffic tickets and where the value actually is in hiring a ticket attorney. So first of all, we're going to talk about the general pricing for a traffic ticket attorney. Pricing is broken down into a few different areas. First off, it depends on what you're hiring the lawyer for. If you're hiring a lawyer right off the bat, right after you get the ticket, and your goals and expectations are to have the lawyer appear in court for you, do the best they can to try to get that case dismissed. If not, get it dismissed, then make sure to keep it off your record, reduce the fees by as much as possible. Then that's normally going to cost a person around $75. The reason why is the $75 normally covers the amount of time that it takes for the attorney to send the documents in to court, plead you not guilty, set up the court date, appear back in court on the court date, review your file, see if there's any legal reason for dismissal, and if not, negotiate the best deal possible. Now, you can see that $75 is not a lot of money compared to what most attorneys charge on an hourly basis. And so where attorneys make most of their money is not in the one case that they're handling for you, but hopefully in a number of cases that they're handling for multiple clients at the same time. And that helps make up the difference, because the average hourly rate for an attorney in the Dallas area runs about $250 to $350 an hour. And so you can see the $75 that you're expending on a ticket to have an attorney help you with that is well below that average market value. And so really they're hoping to get multiple clients in the door on that same docket to help make up that difference. Now, if your case is in warrant, normally it's going to cost you a little bit more in order to handle that. Normally you'll see a fee raised from $75 to $100. And the reason why that is because it takes more work. The $75 covers a case outside a warrant, but the $100 covers the attorney having to post what they call an attorney bond. That attorney bond, what it does is it releases the warrant for your arrest. It takes that off of you, and then the attorney can request the court date, go into court for you, and try to get the best deal possible if the case isn't dismissed. And so when an attorney files that surety bond on your behalf to lift the warrant, they're also placing a risk on themselves, and that risk is basically saying that they're going to show up in court for you, and if that court date is missed, then they're responsible for the fine amount on your case. And so that's a pretty big risk, and that's why the fee is a little bit more. Now, what you should not expect is to pay an attorney $75 and then think that that attorney is going to go all the way to the Supreme Court and back for you for that general fee. There's always a limit to the service that's going to be able to be provided to a client based on that fee. Now, we try to keep our fees as low as possible in this area because we want to help as many people as possible. And we understand that it's just a Class C misdemeanor. Although it's a very important case, we want to keep our fees low to allow people to use us, especially the ones that need our help. And so within reason, the client has to understand that that budget's not going to cover probably more than an initial pre-trial hearing, maybe a reset to get the offer to you to have you review it and see where you want to go from there. So let's say that you need more than just an initial pre-trial setting. Let's say that you actually want to set this thing for trial for whatever reason. Maybe you're a CDL carrier, and if this goes on your record, you stand the potential of losing your job, or you have multiple violations already on your record. If you receive another one, it could cause a suspension of your driver's license, or your insurance rates are at risk because of the nature of the speed or the nature of the offense. When that happens, what we do as attorneys is we break down the different types of trials that you can have. In our office, we have it broken down into three areas, basically. One is basically what we call a plea or dismiss option, where we're showing up to court, you're showing up to court with us, and we're seeing if the officer is going to appear, and if not, then the case is normally dismissed. Some courts require a couple of settings before that actually happens, and so it takes a lot of cooperation on the client's part in order to do that. So what we charge for that normally is $150 to take care of that type of case for you. And that covers 2 additional hearings, which you can kind of consider is that the hearings are going to cost you about $75 per case. That's just enough to pay the attorney for their time in court for you, and also to cover the staff that's helping maintain the file while we're going to court multiple times for the client. The next option is a trial before a judge. And it's just as it sounds. There's a judge that sits in every court, in every municipal court or justice court for traffic tickets, and we set the case for trial in front of that judge and try the case in front of them. Now, we don't normally recommend trials before judges because a lot of times the judges aren't as unbiased as they should be. What I'm trying to get across is that many of these judges are managed by city managers who put a lot of pressure on them to basically make money, and that persuasive power that the city manager has over a judge can cause them to be unbiased in your case. And so we don't normally recommend trials by judges, but that is an option that is available, and what we charge for that is normally $350. The final option is, of course, a trial by jury, and that's where you're going into court. Me or another attorney in my office voir dires a jury panel, just as if you do in any other case, criminal or otherwise. We pick the 6 best members to sit on that jury panel, and we try the case in front of the jury. Of course, it takes a lot more time in order to do that, but that's the best option that we have to try to protect your driving record and your insurance rates, your job, whatever may be at risk if you get convicted of the offense that you're charged with. It is a little bit more expensive in order to do that option because of the time that it takes in order to do that case well. What we charge on those is a flat fee of $500. And I can tell you it's worth every single penny in our office. We've had many jury trials where we've had a client who's had their job at risk, where we go in and we're successful at trial, the case is dismissed, and that was the only option that client had, was to be successful at a trial, and we were able to accomplish that for them. Now, is there any guarantee on any one of those that your case is going to be dismissed just because you choose a trial option? The answer to that is no. You have no real guarantees in the law on how one case is going to fall one way or the other. There's too many variables in order to know in advance how that's going to work out. But if having a conviction on your record is going to cause you to lose your job, lose your license, something like that, then that may be what we have to do. And there's a lot of attorneys out there that practice traffic law but that don't try cases. We're not one of those firms. We actually try traffic ticket cases in our office on a weekly basis. There's some times where we have 5, 6, 7, 10 cases set for trial in a week in my office because we know it's at risk, and the client has to have an attorney that's willing to try these cases. So that's the general spread of how you can see the fees working out in a traffic ticket lawyer's office. What they can do for you normally is save you a lot of money. Now, that may not be on the front end. A lot of times what we'll do is we'll get a case in our office where we're helping a client out, and the offer at the window is for, say, $220. That's the court window fine. But what happens is if you pay that court window fine, it's basically a conviction on your record. The only people that win out of that is the court system themselves, because you just paid the court a lot of money, and the conviction is reported to DPS, and those points are tracked by DPS. If you get too many of them, they'll suspend your license. So that's normally why we're being hired. Two parts. One, to save the client time for not having to show up to court, and 2, protecting the driving record and saving them money on the back end. So let's say that you hire us for a case like that. We go in, and the original fine amount was $220. Well, we go in and we get it down to $180, but in exchange for that, it's not reported onto your permanent record. Well, Some clients will be upset with that because it's only a savings of $40. But what they don't realize is a lot of those cases, when they're reported, can cost them as much as $750 in surcharges to DPS and an insurance increase of over $30 a month over the next 3 years, which is an additional $1,500. So that's $2,200 that we've actually saved the client for a fee, an attorney fee of $75 on the front end. So what I try to tell clients when they're dealing with cases like this is don't be penny wise and pound foolish. Understand what we're trying to do here. We may not save you as much money as you would like on the front end, but trust me, our goals and expectations are the same. We're in the same boat with you. We're fighting to make sure to save you as much money as possible. And it may be that we save you thousands of dollars on the back end by negotiating a deal on the front end. So all of these things you need to be aware of when you're hiring a traffic ticket attorney to make sure that you have reasonable goals and expectations going forward, because there's still clients out there that think that just by hiring an attorney that somehow we're going to wave a magic wand over your case and it's going to magically disappear. And that's simply not the case. You know, traffic ticket attorneys have a pretty tough living nowadays. It's getting harder and harder with these courts that are trying to monetize traffic tickets as much as possible, try to make as much money as possible. And so if you know that going in, what the goal and expectation of the attorney is, and your goals and expectations are in line with that attorney going in, then it's going to save you a lot of trouble on the back end trying to understand why we do certain things that we do as attorneys. So if you have a traffic ticket and you have questions that you need answered with regard to, hey, is this going to affect my driving record? Am I going to be in trouble if this goes on my record? Am I going to lose my license? Will I lose my job? Those are the type of things that we can help answer questions for. So feel free to give us a call. There's a million different ways that you can reach us. We have click here for live chat function on all of our websites. You can talk to us online. Also, our contact page allows you to see where we're located at, what our reviews are on Google, as well as our phone number, fax, and also a web contact form that you can fill out if it's after hours. So feel free to contact us with your questions. We'd be happy to help you out. Look forward to serving you.